Hey everybody, it is nostalgia time once again. In this episode, I've got 7 different Acer machines, all of which actually came with Windows XP when they were new. As for one of them, however, the TravelMate 8472, it actually came with both XP and 7. We're going to be taking a look at the Windows 7 copy of that in a future episode. I've actually got 7 more Acer copies of XP, and we're going to be taking a look at those in the next episode as well. So, this episode features the TravelMate 2310, the TravelMate 630, the TravelMate 220, the TravelMate 8472, as I said earlier, the Aspire 9500, the TravelMate 800, and the Extensa 5220. So now let's get the restore started. Alright, so we'll go ahead and load the image. Here's the system CD, but we need to insert disk 1. There we go. We'll scan for images. We'll open the folder, and there it is. Alright. And Alt-O for OK. And Alt-Y for yes. And now that is off and running. This one's ready to start too. And the 800 is actually giving that same screen that we saw in the last episode with the TravelMate 240. The same graphical interface with the language selection, and that I cannot use the mouse or anything like that. So apparently the restore program on the 8472 is using Windows 7, although we'll have to see if that's actually true when it's all done. And now I'm going to start these two. That one is off and running. However, on the TravelMate 630 and 220, we get a message saying the CD is not for this computer. But I believe we can open syscd.exe, which will pull up the same error. So let's see what we can do with this. Cannot access disk 1. Cannot reach sector of disk 0. Drive letter assignments may be incorrect. Alright, so I replaced it with a SATA disk. Now it shows the drives and partitions. We really can't do much here, so unfortunately, these two are failures. So we're in this case down to 4 already. Alright, so there is the TravelMate wallpaper, and the 2310 is the first to reach the out-of-box experience. And then of course we're going to get that message that says, "Thank you for purchasing this computer from Acer," featuring Windows XP. I'm going to assume this is United States. English USA. And had a Dutch keyboard layout by default. Now switch that to US, it looks like. Yeah, it's US. And it has mentions of some of the central cities. Comes with XP Home Edition. Say yes to automatic updates, even though they don't work. We will skip the computer name for now. We'll skip the internet connection. No, we will not register. We will use this machine. And we'll hit finish and head off to the desktop. Alright, here comes the TravelMate's desktop, as the 8472 is now restoring the system from the newly created recovery partition. The 9500 is almost done. Alright, so let's take a look at this TravelMate install. So we have Adobe Reader 6. We got that Acer eManager. We also have the custom Power DVD. And then there's NTI DVD Maker 7. Of course, Acer wants to restart it again. We didn't even need to go into Falcon 4 and update the drivers after all. That's great. But anyway, let's take a look at this install and see what it's got. So it has a utility tray that starts on boot. It's got NTI Backup Now 4, DVD Maker 7, the Print Me driver, the SIS-VGA utilities. Those are the usual accessories, and then the games in XP. Then we also have Adobe Reader 6, Norton Antivirus, which requires that separate CD. And yeah, this eManager, like before. And that's really it. That's really what this copy's got. But just for fun, let's run the... Oh, I didn't type it right. There we go. And this Acer is actually in English. Yep, English US. In the Central Time Zone. This is XP Home Edition. We'll set the PC by turning on those automatic updates, even though they don't work. And the 8472 is done, but let's verify that this is XP. And we'll hit no. And yep, that is indeed XP. Wow, this is lovely. AZ Mixer Cell.exe has closed unexpectedly. Well, that's lovely. So, I can already tell what it's got installed. It's got Adobe Reader 7. We have Acer Arcade, which of course was exclusive to these Aspire machines, which we know that it looks like a custom variation of Windows Media Center, which was included in XP Media Center Edition that we took a look at in the last episode on another Acer Aspire installation. We got Cyberlink Power Producer, which we know what that is, NTI Backup Now 4 and CD DVD Maker 7. Let's have two narrators run together. Why not? Yeah, here's the screensaver on both of them. They're both pretty much identical the except the ending background is different. There's one for the Aspire, and then there's one for the Travelmate. But otherwise, both are visually identical. So, that's really all there is to see for these two. So let's shut them both down. Alright, now we're at the out-of-box experience on the 8472, which is also in English. Yep, English United States. We'll change it to Central Time. And this is actually XP Professional and Tablet PC Edition Service Pack 3, which is true for many of those netbooks at the time. Because that's when both Service Pack 3 of Windows XP and Service Pack 2 of Windows Vista were released. They were both released in the same year. We'll skip the domain. We will not register. And of course I'll put my name in. And finish. And I can tell we actually get a custom background, a lot different than what we've seen before. And here we are at the desktop of Service Pack 3 of Windows XP, and of course it'll come with much newer software considering that this is a newer service pack. And we can already tell this by Acer's new launch tool. And if I open up the system properties, yep, XP Professional, Service Pack 3. And this actually does look like a very familiar system to me. So we'll open up the system properties, and if we look at the screensaver, it looks like we get the newer variant of the screensaver, specifically one that we have not seen before. So let's actually take a look at it. Which of course basically gives information about the computer and what it actually looks like from various angles. That's really what this is. So that's really all this screensaver is. It just shows the back of the laptop, and then it shows it in various angles, halfway open and then fully open. So Acer included Windows 7, I believe, pre-installed, but then allowed the user the option to downgrade it to XP, which, I mean, I don't know why Acer would allow that, considering Windows 7 had received so much praise. But then again, so let's take a look at what is actually installed. And we've actually got newer versions of apps that we've seen. So we have the updated e-recovery. There's that backup manager, and there's the eSabi. And in fact, all of these are actually what we will see when we install the Windows 7 copy later on. So there's the Intel Rapid Storage, there's the Launch Manager, there's McAfee, and it has the 60-day trial of Microsoft Office 2007. It's got SQL Server 2005, Norton Backup, NTF Backup Now 5, Media Maker 8, the installer for Skype. And I did not know XP was compatible with Live Essentials. It doesn't have Movie Maker because Windows XP already has one. But we've also got an Acrobat Reader version 9, And we don't get any special games on this one because XP already has some preloaded. So this is Internet Explorer 8. We have Acer's Google Bar and this McAfee toolbar as well. So yeah, so that's really it for this TravelMate. And that's going to essentially do it for this round of Windows XP Acer OEM installs. As I mentioned, I've got 7 more of these, and we're going to do them all next time. But until then, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.